Hi, what's going on? I have a story to tell you and a little bit of a testimony to bear. Let's just hop right to it. Today's story, it's about 10-year-old me and the first time that I prayed for me. I remember one time I was really young. My dad was I think we said a prayer together, and then he encouraged me to say my own prayer in my mind, right? And I remember I didn't know what to do or what to say. And I don't think I said anything. I just think at one point I was like, okay, I'm done. Because I didn't get it. I didn't understand prayer. I don't understand why people prayed, why you would ever need to pray. But that all changed when I was 10 years old in the summer of 2003.
Look at this photograph.
And it came to pass, I, my brother, and my sister all got together and we went to Grandma and Grandpa's house. Now, Grandma and Grandpa's house, they had, how do I say this without coming off as prude and annoying? They have an estate, okay? And by the way, a giant pool. It's not that giant, but when you're 10 years old, it was giant. It was huge. We were swimming kids, all right? We took swimming very, very seriously. When we went swimming, we would swim. This was a full day activity. We don't just go swimming for a couple hours. This was like a day long excursion into the water with the floaties and the noodles and the big old ugly looking masks that make you look so dumb, but you feel so cool when you've got them. Because you can go underwater without water getting in your nose and you can see everything. You're like, it was so cool. But this one time that we went, we got together, like I said, it was like 9 a.m. And we didn't put on any sunscreen. And we were there until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I don't know if you noticed this about me, but I'm white. I'm about as white as the door behind me, or this whiteboard. I'm a white dude. Part of the fun that comes with being white is that you turn colors in the sun, namely a specific color, the color red. And if you're outside for a very long time, sometimes you might even turn a little bit purple. Me, my brother, and my sister all sustained second-degree burns from that swimming day. And it was like our backs, it was our shoulders, our necks, and our faces were just bright red. And all along our shoulders here and on the back, we had blisters and boils that were rupturing into pus. It was pure agony. You know when it's like when you've got a sunburn and you're wearing and you put a shirt on and it hurts, like it feels like you're being stabbed and in like 1,000 different places, and you just want to freaking die. You can't lay down, you can't move very fast. You have to like walk super slow, and like you leave your shoulders are just like tense everywhere you go because you're just like, I'm gonna cause as little friction as possible. It was so bad. It was so awful. I'm like permanently scarred. I don't go outside for longer than 30 minutes without sunscreen anymore because yeah. This is like the next day and the boils have already appeared. My mom has got my sister in her bedroom. She's got like Vaseline on her back and she's like got the humidifier going in her bedroom. My poor brother Zach was like 6 or 7 years old at this point, and I'm laying in the bathtub. Cold water. Just a cold bath. I just remember being in such agony, and I'm just laying there dying and weeping. I am pushed to the very brink of my 10-year-old mental capacities, okay? And I start to go back to my teachings, to my dad, sitting next to me on the side of the bed, teaching me how to pray. And you know in the scriptures when it says things like, Enos cried mightily, that's what I did, because I was crying mightily to God with many tears. And I beg him to take the pain away. I begged him to heal me because I didn't know what else to ask for. I just wanted it to stop. And so that's what I prayed for. And I'm not kidding. The next day, I felt fine. My boils were gone. My skin was still red and a little bit tender, but I could move my shoulders. I could dance if I wanted to.
We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind.
If I would ever do such a thing, which I promise I probably did, I could put on a shirt. Feel good. I felt so good, you guys. And my brother and my sister continued to have the boils and the burns for like the next 4 or 5 days. Could it have been a coincidence? Sure. Yeah. Very easily could have been a coincidence. And if that's how you want to look at it, that's great. But I believe I was healed. And I think about that a lot because I've had many occasions since then when I've prayed for relief from something and it doesn't come. There's a book called The Alchemist. You've probably heard of it. If not read it before, I would encourage you to do so. There's a character who talks about what he calls the principle of beginner's luck. We'll call it that. He says that beginner's luck exists because it means that you're on the right path. You've done something good and the universe or God has blessed you with beginner's luck because they want you to feel good about doing that thing. You've started and now that's some encouragement. Oh, that was fun. Let's do it again. To me, that's kind of what this was. It was my first time praying ever, like really from my heart for something that I really wanted. And the Lord wanted me to continue doing that. And it certainly worked because I continued praying after that. Prayers aren't always answered in that way. Blessings aren't always received in that way. People are not always healed miraculously. But for whatever reason, I was. And at least for the time that I was at, that's what I needed to continue praying and to keep going. And as a result, now, here I am almost 20 years after the fact, and I've had so many prayers answered in different ways. Prayers aren't always answered in the way that you want them to be, and that's okay. But it gives me hope that even if God doesn't heal you miraculously, He probably wants to. I've recently had a son this last year, so he's learning how to walk, right? And usually he's like standing at his walker and the wheels start to move forward and he tries to like clench his little baby ab muscles to like stop it from moving. And sometimes he'll just like topple onto the floor. And I want to do everything I can to prevent him from toppling onto the floor. I have to remind myself that sometimes he needs to topple to the floor because he's not going to learn how to walk if he doesn't learn how to catch himself. Because when you think about walking, all walking really is falling forward and repeatedly catching yourself with your other foot. Sometimes the Lord requires us to fall forward and to learn how to catch ourselves. And so it's not always the same, but because of that experience, I have hope that even if God doesn't take it away, that He would if it was the best thing for us. So, if you've never prayed before, give it a shot. Because you never know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you were able to glean something helpful from this story. Even if you didn't, I kind of just enjoyed sharing it. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you're not swimming without sunscreen because you don't want boils and you don't want to be purple. You don't want to be lying on your back in an ice cold bath weeping to God. But if you do find yourself on your back weeping to God, well, I hope it works out. This has gone on long enough. I'm just rambling at this point. I need to stop talking. I need to stop this video. Yeah, all right, peace out.